What is up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. In today's video I'm going to teach you guys on how to drop body fat and how to get 10% body fat or even sub 10% body fat levels. Most people, when they envision their dream physique, dream of a stereotypical beach body, and those types of physique fall somewhere between the 8 to 12% body fat range. The first thing we should do in order to lose body fat is to put ourselves in a state of a calorie deficit. And no, don't immediately start running, don't immediately start doing cardio. The most important factor is your diet. The first thing you should do is to know how many calories you need. You do that by multiplying your weight in pounds by 15. That is a very simple calculation to get a rough estimation of how many calories you need on a daily basis in order to maintain your weight. And in order to lose body fat, in order for your body to melt off that body fat, or if you want to get really technical, oxidize that body fat, you have to take in fewer calories than you currently need in order to maintain your current weight. The rule is, the higher up the body fat scale you are, the larger the deficit can be. If you are 25% body fat or higher, I would even recommend going up to 1,000 calorie deficit, but once you are in the 25% or lower range, I would advise a calorie deficit of about 20%, and that will fall into the 500 to 800 range for most people. Now, the first thing you should do when you know how many calories you need and how much of a calorie deficit that you should apply to your own diet is you consistently put yourself in that calorie deficit, and over the long course that will make sure that you are losing body fat. Now, there will come a point in time where you will stall because of a process called metabolic adaptation, and once that happens, you will have to put yourself in a state of a calorie deficit again, because the initial deficit that you have put yourself in will now have become your maintenance, because your body has adapted to performing all its tasks and doing its bodily processes with that amount of energy that you've given it, and it has adapted to that amount of energy that it receives. When you do that, you have to do the same thing all over again. You multiply your body weight by 15 in pounds, obviously, and you again apply a calorie deficit of about 20%. Now, here is where things get tricky. It is pretty easy to reach about 10 to 12% body fat. It is pretty easy to do that. When you want to get below the 10% mark, that's where things get tricky, because the lower amounts of body fat that you carry, the more easy it is to burn muscle mass, because muscle mass is metabolically pretty expensive. And at that point, it is important to minimize the amount of muscle that you lose. We do that by creating a smaller calorie deficit. Instead of opting for a 20% calorie deficit, opt for only a 10% calorie deficit. So when, for example, you have reached 10% body fat, you are already pretty lean, you are already looking good, but you really want to take it to the next level and look extra edgy and sharp, that is when you have to take a small and slow approach, because slow and steady wins the race when it comes to reaching sub 10% body fat levels without losing muscle mass. Obviously, it is very important to perform a resistance training routine where you take a couple of sets to close to failure for each and every muscle group on a weekly basis, because that will signal your body to hold on to its muscle mass. And that, in combination with a calorie deficit and eating enough protein, which means 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight, that combination will make sure that you hold on to most of your muscle mass, drop mostly fat, and that you will reach your goal of looking absolutely amazing. So to recap the things that I've told you in this video, if you are far away from your goal of your ideal body fat percentage and you are over 25% body fat, calculate how many calories you need and go for a even 1,000 calorie deficit. If you are over, or if you are under, 25% body fat, opt for a 20% calorie deficit, which will be between 500 to 800 for most people. And once you get down to a very low body fat percent of around 10, where you already look pretty good, between 10 and 12, then you have to take things slow and diligent, and you have to only put yourself in a calorie deficit of about 10%, which will fall somewhere between 250 to 400 calories for most people, if it will be that much. But that will make sure that slow and steady wins the race, that you will maintain your muscle mass, and that you will drop body fat, and you will look extra sharp, you will look extra edgy. And by only using a small calorie deficit when you are already at a low body fat percentage, you will keep your hunger in check. Combine that with a protein intake of 0.8 grams per pound of body weight and a solid resistance training program where every muscle group receives a couple of hard sets per week near failure, and I can guarantee you that your body will hold on to its muscle mass and you will look sharp and edgy and will rock that beach body, that athletic type of physique that you want. So guys, thank you for watching the video. I hope you have gotten value out of it. If you did, please give me a like and share the video with as many people as you think might benefit from hearing this information. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.